Dr. Stone.
So this is a very interesting chapter here. It's man, this author's giving me vibes that he's gonna pull Promise Neverland and have his next final arc after this one, bro. Like, I hope it's not the
No,
case,
why do you, bro? Blasphemy! Get the fuck out of here.
but like, but man, I hope because oof, man, everything's just more proof that Senku will be in Jump Force.
Stop. He's not gonna be. Bro, okay, if you want to talk about Senku, let's talk about long hair, sexy lady killer, or like downed hair, wet hair, sexy Senku.
Yeah, it's a man. This whole conversation, it's just a very something that I love about this manga, and I love about
Oh yeah.
how just in general, right? Like this conversation is a conversation between a fucking madman and a fucking like a reasonable human being. It's like sanity versus insanity, right?
Oh yeah. Well, so I love the conversation about like overpopulation issues because this is a conversation you get into a lot. Like there are people that legitimately believe what he believes. Like not kidding. Like he's kind of representing the whole like why should my tax dollars go to helping people other than me? We just got to prop up the There are people that really believe that because they're scummy fucking people. So I love that, so he's just like, Earth can't handle 7 billion people. And immediately when I read that, I was like, well, that's bullshit. Because, yes, we can. Thurman, there are places in the world, including places in America, where we throw away food because there's too much of it. Like, for example, we pay farmers to grow less to keep prices up. They could grow more, but they don't. So this whole notion that we can't support this many people is just pure bullshit. And I like that Senku basically stomped that shit. Like, no, that's, like science makes it so we can. So the method of this guy is the method of a fucking person who gives up. He's a loser because he's just like, fuck it. I ain't going to try to think. We're going to take the easy way out and just kill everybody. He's like, no. Science, we can do this shit. I love that.
Yeah, man. It's one of those situations to where he said because one thing I was confused about. I was like, okay, well, what is his purpose? Like, I was reading through and I'm like, okay, well, is he trying to say that? Because at first I thought he was trying to say he's gonna revive everyone. And then he's gonna have like a humongous brawl, and like whoever's alive for that brawl is gonna be the winner. And like some fucking
no, he got rid of the cave for that very reason. I think he just wants to. Because something he talked about what he agreed with Tsukasa on, and he agreed that they both agreed that like this was the Earth, like this was nature itself calling humanity. Because a lot of people look at things like hurricanes and disease as like the Earth trying to kill off humans. Like we're the parasite, and that's the immune system trying to kill off humans. So I think they look at this thing that happened with the stone, and they're like, this is the Earth culling off the humans because we were killing the planet.
I believe that. Like Igor, the living planet. Earth is alive. It's trying to kill us all.
Well, it's like that. You ever see that comic where it's like all the other planets around Earth, and it's like, oh no, he has humans. And then there's another one where the moon is like the Earth's like, hey moon, you want to fucking dance with me? And then the moon's like, oh, I don't know, you have humans. And he's like, don't worry, it's not contagious. And then we launch a rocket over there.
That's funny. You have to send me those. But it's man. I'm loving his villain vibes though, man. He's becoming more of a villain than Tsukasa was already.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. Good.
It's a situation to where it's like, okay, well now first we had science versus power, now we have fucking purge versus science. It's one of those things to where okay, well he wants to rid the world of 7 billion people. And Senku's like, no, I want to save 7 billion people because he's like,
It's
the
very
world is
Thanos.
dying.
I got a hardcore Thanos vibe from this guy. He's just like, we can't sustain the population. We have to keep them dead for the good of the few.
Yeah. However, comic book Dick Rider here. Technically, that was the movie Thanos. Comic Thanos is means of wanting to erase
He
it.
wants to fuck death.
Ooh, someone knows his comics. Anyway, yeah. So That's essentially what's happening here. And honestly, I kind of like that they made him a his reasoning. I remember you said last time villain was going to be good, it was going to be bullshit. And
Mhm.
I want your thoughts on. Do you think that if you think
Thurman is
uh
buffering.
do you really think that Haruga or this guy is do you meet up to your expectations to what his reasonings for being a villain is?
Um, I think it's so yeah, okay. So I guess if I had to nitpick, like I'll say that like the reasoning is good. It is very cinematic universe Thanos, so not like the most creative. Like I could have come up with this, but it's not like it's bad. I just wish that there was a bit of. I wish that we before Tsukasa got defeated, we saw a bit more of this guy. Like I wish that he would have been more developed before this happened, so it would have been a bigger deal when he took over. You know what I mean? Like think about like any villain right hand man from like a manga who was like really well developed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it would have been better if he was like more developed and then this happened, but it's not like it's bad. It's still really good.
Like a Jack of next to Kaido type thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I'm
Like if Kaido became good, and then Jack wanted to take over the
Oh,
whole
I have
piece.
a better one since Katakuri got more shit. It'd be like if Katakuri was like, "Fuck you, Big Mom. I'm the new leader," you know, and like fucking stabbed her in the back.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That makes
Because
more sense. That's what we
like
need,
we
though.
know him
That's
at
what
that
we
point. It
need.
would have been like a way bigger deal, you know. Because when he fucking took over, we were all like, "Oh, it's that one guy that's been in the background a couple times," you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only thing that I would say could have been done better, but it's still. I mean, it makes sense. His ideology makes sense because there are plenty of people that actually think this in life. You know what I mean? There are. He's like one of them. Like, man, why I gotta pay taxes for sick people? Republicans, you know.
Oh, very, very great southern accent there, my
No, he's
boy.
straight up like I can't even tell you how accurate it is to like because I was just listening to a debate yesterday about like Medicare for all and shit and like the opposition is like, well, we shouldn't have to pay taxes for sick people when we're doing fine. And it's like, yeah, that's how insurance works. The healthy people pay for the sick people, and then once you're sick, healthy people will pay for you. It's what insurance is. So yeah, he's just one of them like dipshit, like fucking. Basically, there are people in this world that are all for themselves, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. That's a nutshell. That's why we can't have free healthcare.
yes, because people don't want to help. Like, people are like unabashedly like they're proud of this. They're like, yeah, you know, it's about I'm gonna take care of me and my family and fuck everyone else. It's like, no, I personally think that everyone deserves help. That's just my hippie way of looking at things, and Senku agrees. So at its core, this argument, this conflict, is very much a real conflict that happens in our world, that is happening now, except just in a more extreme variety. So I definitely like it in that regard because it's a conflict that I take part of, or I take part in a lot on a lesser scale.
Mm-hmm. And so, what I want to note here is, like, what got me interesting that he's saying like, your reply shall be yes, and he's like cutting off
No,
Senku's
that was
fingers.
fucking cool. He's like, your answer's gonna be yes, and until it's that answer, I'm gonna keep cutting shit off. Like he's
So
taking no
it's
bullshit.
like I was like, whoa, like Senku needs his hands to do all the science shit. Like imagine like
Yeah,
cutting his fingers to the right spot to where he can't use his fingers anymore. I'm like, that would be detrimental. Honestly, I got convinced that that was the route that the author was going.
that would
Like
suck.
he was gonna make Senku like fucking he was gonna like make Senku not be able to use like maybe like one hand or like loses a finger or something like that.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that would
That
suck. Well, I think
that
he was going slowly with it because I think the purpose of him wanting to team up with him was that the whole brain brawn thing, right? Like we're gonna do my ideals, I'll have the brawn part of it, and then you can do the brain part of it, you know.
mm-hmm.
Now, as I know you're the number one fan of the cop guy, you know, the retired cop guy that beats people with like a nightstick looking thing. Um, how did you like the scene where he previously tested the river and where it would go by just pushing him in?
That's funny. He's like the guinea pig.
He was like, I tested this previously, and then it's just a boom, and then it shows him sneezing. Dude, he's gonna be a wild card, that man.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be like the buggy, the I want to say Yamcha, but he's better than Yamcha.
The Buggy, bro. I miss Buggy.
Your Minatas, your what have you, the ones who were always underestimated.
Yeah. No one ever thought anything of him. Except for Thurman.
He's underestimated him until when he actually does shit, and then people are gonna fucking be like, holy shit, why didn't I pay attention to this guy?
Now let's talk about, because there's so much happened in this chapter. I love this moment where it looks like Senku is actually getting like really like flustered and like actually like scared. Like that was all, obviously it was a plan. But it was, go ahead.
Joseph Joestar vibes, bro.
Throwing the fucking birds like and activating that was fucking smart. Like this is how you do smart combat in the world that this is set in here.
Bro, like, please tell me please tell me when you saw this you didn't think of when Joseph Joestar did the same thing to Wamu.
You gotta remind me, because I don't remember a lot about part 2.
Okay, so remember when they're doing like the chariot race battle, right?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Then Jojo's on the floor. Joseph's on the floor. He's acting all wild. He's throwing rocks and shit like that.
Oh, it does sound familiar.
Hamon on the rocks, and then he's like, Wamu, your next line is, don't disrespect our battle, Jojo. And then Wamu says that, and then fucking Joseph fucks him up.
Yeah, I guess I can see the comparison there.
I'm gonna show you the scene once this video is over, so you'll understand.
I feel that does sound familiar. I do remember him being on the floor, like, oh god, similar to this. So let's talk. Yeah, like. I do like, but yeah, this line here, because the little flipping of his normal line where he's like, this excites me. I like how he's like, no, what you're saying is logical, but it doesn't excite me. I'm like, that's like an line. I like that he granted him that it's logical, because it is like that's one of those, like, because you and I have had that conversation where like there's some people who think pure logic and their whole thing is like logic, no emotions, fuck thinking with emotions, and my whole response to that is, yeah, but if you do that, then you're horrible, you're a horrible person. Like if you completely throw out emotions, that means you don't care about, if you're thinking pure logic, then you should kill yourself. I'm gonna say it right now. Because if you are a purely logical thinker, and that's how you base yourself, then all your existence is killing the planet. You have a carbon footprint. You probably kill hundreds of thousands of animals just to live. Even if you don't, you have to drive places. That's a carbon footprint. You're going to produce mountains of trash in your lifetime. So if you are truly just a logical thinker, then you should off yourself. And this is not me quoting this. This is directly from Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't know if you remember this quote, Thurman, but there's a part at the end where Monica's talking to you, and she has this big whole spiel of how she's like, honestly, logically, we should all just kill ourselves, but we're all too selfish to do it. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
She basically goes through this whole thing where she's like, all of us we are a parasite. Other animals are able to live in like an ecosystem type thing where they constantly put back what they've taken, so they're not like a negative. But humanity is a parasite. Our mere existence is sucking away resources and not giving back. So we are a parasite and killing the planet. So the way Monica put it in that game was, we should all be killing ourselves right now if we were to think purely logically, but we're not. So what does that make us? Selfish?
It's logic versus morals argument.
Yeah, so to me, I think there's when you got to think about when you're applying a worldview, you have to have a good mix of logic and emotion. You cannot throw out emotion completely, because if you do, then I'll tell you some things that you would say if you completely threw out emotion. You'd say, kill all handicapped people. They're just a detriment. Kill them. And this is what this guy's doing. Kill all mentally ill people. They're just a detriment. Kill them. Oh, are they not physically fit? Can they not fucking hunt? Kill them. Like you could go on and on and on. The things you would say if you were a purely logical thinker. But we are better than that. That's one of the few things that makes us better than just an animal. We may be parasites and we may take resources and not give back, but what we have is a consciousness. What we have is the ability to think higher and the ability to forgive and not just act on instinct. So that's what we do to raise ourselves as humans above just animals. So that is why the whole fucking think logically bullshit argument is bullshit. And that's why I love this conversation, because I have thought very strongly about that for a long time. Mic drop. Thoughts, Thurman?
Oh, yeah.
Although I ain't dropping this mic. It's expensive.
This shit, Mike.
Say again?
I gave you that theory. I gave you all that, and you just took it and just made it 1 billion% better.
I think, is it 10 billion? 10 billion percent?
10 billion or 1 billion, whatever the case may be.
So let's see here. That's the way of science. This chapter felt long. There's a lot of shit happened in this chapter.
This is but when they say Naruto, Sasuke, Goku, Vegeta, and Natsu Gray is the best team up of all time in the manga, me an intellectual Senku Tsukasa.
yeah. That's a top quality meme, Thurman. I'm proud of you. No, yeah, so I'm glad so transitioning into that. Thoughts on Tsukasa getting up and punching this fucker in the face?
So, I'm a hit or miss, to be honest. Like, I'm glad he's okay, but I'm like, bro, like, this man just got stabbed through the heart and he's fine. Well, it might
it's a
be
little ridiculous.
It might. What I'm thinking they might pull a Gurren Lagann, because you know how like Kamina got stabbed right to the chest, but he still was able to do like a big attack before he died. Like he's gonna fight a bit, and then once he is defeated or he escapes, he's gonna pass out.
Well, I want you to know, I would accept it like perfectly if it was just this one punch, but at the end he's like talking to Senku, he's like literally standing up, like, all right, let's fight together. Like, dude, what?
I mean, it's just I feel like it's just it's just. Manga is you have to remember this is
don't fucking excuse it because it's manga.
It's manga. I'm gonna assume he's gonna do a little something there, but afterwards he's gonna die blood loss or pass out or something.
I honestly hope that it's one of those things where it's like it just all you got to do is be like, no, he didn't. He missed my heart a little bit. Like my heart is still intact, but I'm still gonna bleed out because like if I'm sorry, if his heart was in the middle of that spear, that means he literally would not have the muscle required to pump blood through his body. And there's certain things that are too unrealistic, and this manga has been very good at making injuries realistic, being a manga centered around science. So I hope that there's a little bit more than just, oh, it's just manga, deal with it, accept it. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
That's fair. Right? Don't you think what I'm saying is fair?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. So if that does happen, will it become like the Promised Neverland for you now?
No, not even close, man. That would be one thing that I slightly disagree with. That would make me go, I don't like that. But no, that would not ruin the whole series for me. Like, you know what it takes to ruin a series that I like? Consistent bad, like where like it's like basically 20 bad things every chapter for like 3 months. That's what it takes. It would take a lot more than that. The way I look at it is every author, they gain and they lose trust, right? So the more good shit they do, they gain more trust with the reader. And then the more bad shit they do, they take it away. So at this point, the Dr. Stone author has accrued a lot of trust. So at this point, he could do more bad shit before it would make me drop it because all the good shit that's come before. So with Promised Neverland, that's why Promised Neverland got a good half a year before I fucking decided to hate it. And like but like something like Bleach, for example. Bleach was always like really on the edge with me, so like it didn't take very long for me to be like, this is getting bullshit near the end. So it's better the author the more time they get, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, that was an offhanded thing. It's gonna be fine. I don't think it would really piss me. It'd be like one little thing, and then of course I would just be like, okay, well, it's manga. I always appreciate the manga that are more realistic with their injuries. Think fucking Deku. Like I think we mentioned this in the One Piece one. Deku's hand, and how he's like, you can't fucking use this hand. You can't move. You're gonna not be able to move it if you keep doing that. I like that kind of shit. So I hope that being a manga centered around science, I hope that they're more realistic with the injuries. You know what I'm
saying? You're definitely correct on that, man.
So I guess thoughts on where this is going to go from here, I guess.
I truly don't know. I just hope that I hope they don't defeat him too soon. You know, I hope they give us like a leeway for the manga to continue.
This will be interesting because you and I have discussed that like it's just like Promised Neverland in this aspect where the fights really aren't good. Like this author is not really he doesn't emphasize the fights. You remember we talked about that a couple chapters ago where like they don't really show detail in fights. So I can't imagine that this fight is like don't expect like a big shonen-esque battle, you know, for the next like 5 chapters of them fighting. I doubt it. You know what I mean? It's mostly going to be talking with a couple blows back and forth. I'm not expecting anything fight-wise, but that's not what I read this series for. I read it for the character interactions and like the fucking science. So I imagine we're going to get something. It's kind of Senku's last moments here. Tsukasa's last moments here with Senku. Maybe like maybe Tsukasa and his dying breath accepts science, you know, realizes, hey, I was fucking wrong, something like that. Now, I do have one quick theory before we go. In this chapter, you see there's a panel where Senku is holding on to Tsukasa's wound. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so it kind of like it's kind of emphasized like he's like holding there. I'm wondering if Senku, with his science MacGyvering, maybe did something to be able to make him like stand and move around for like another minute or two before he fully dies. Like I could see him being like, well, with this and this will shoot, this will be an adrenaline shot right to you, or maybe, oh, I used this fucking thing and it'll like harden up your wound and help you live for a bit longer. I don't know. I mean, what do you think on that?
It's well, because we didn't really see him put something. He and his hand was over his clothing, so I'm assuming that it's gonna be something. Because I don't know, man. Killing off Tsukasa would be a great plot wise.
I mean, well, he's definitely. I don't see him living. He's gonna die. It's just a matter of like how quickly.
I don't know. I won't be disappointed if he doesn't die, but I mean, but at the same time, I kind of be like, well, that's kind of a waste of a death, in my opinion. Because it's just
you want
like
him to die, or you don't want him to die.
I'm 50-50. If he dies, I won't be upset either or. I will say I will be more upset if he doesn't die. I'm more leaning on the I want him to die thing because I feel like it would be great story wise. But at the same time, I won't be like, you know, I won't like, oh, I fucking hate this manga, I want to drop it. You know?
Yeah, oh no, it would take a lot. Like at this point, there's not a lot that this manga could do to fuck it up. As long as it keeps having good characters, that's my baseline for liking a manga. But I would say that my thing with Tsukasa is, I think if he dies, they could do something really interesting with his sister, because his sister, again, just woke up from a coma. Is now in this world where she probably recognizes fucking no one other than her brother. And so imagine from her perspective, she wakes up, almost immediately her brother gets killed. Now she has to kind of be taken in by this group. I'm very excited and interested to see her perspective on things in this scenario. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Tsukasa's will could kind of be carried on through his sister. You know what I'm saying? I think it might be where they're going with this.
She becomes the new female primate.
Ha! She doesn't necessarily look like she's tough. She's a small.
Needs the right push in the right direction.
Yeah, we're gonna they do a Rocky Balboa with her and get her all fucking like muscly like Summer at the end of that Rick and Morty episode.
Have like one whole
X gonna give it to you.
One whole chapter montage just for her.
Yeah. It's like we have to make. It's like we have to have a Tsukasa like primate on our team. But who do we know that has the blood of Tsukasa? Turns to the sister. X gonna give it to you. Training montage. Confirmed. And then like she's beating up fucking like dummies of fucking what's his name? Haguya? The names are hard. Hyoga?
Yeah.
Haguya is from Hunter x Hunter, I think. It's like one of the names that lion dude had. But anyway.
Well, I mean, but you have to understand that.
I know, names are things. I gotcha. I think I pronounced it wrong. Fuck. No, yeah, that would be. We joke, but I almost kind of want that to happen to an extent. Like, all right, we got to train up the sister. The sister should do something badass at some point. Like, all right, you got to fucking like, is it Mulan where they do be a man? Be a man, right?
Like a fucking
Be a man, except gender neutral, so SJWs don't hate us. You can be strong as a woman, we promise. Right.
Oh my god.
Dude, you know what's funny? If Mulan came out today, SJWs would be mad about that song. How much would I bet? What do you mean, Bruh. Be a man?
Bro, that's so true.
And with that, no better way to end off this video. Peace.